So we're going to take a look at the Ozone Enduro V4, which is pitched as their go everywhere, do everything, free ride, freestyle focused kite. So it's the fourth version of the Enduro. So remembering Ozone do things on versions, not years. They bring out a new version around about every 2 years when they feel like they've made a significant change through R&D. And they really have with the version 4. They've made quite a few changes from the version 3, which they've managed to really pull out of it more freestyle performance, but at the same time, make it more comfortable for a free ride rider. And what I mean by that is when we're freestyling, we want that kite to rush ahead of us, and we want it to pull, and then we want those lines to slacken. This is doing it really well. But when we're free riding, we want that kite to move through the sky quickly, to shoot up, to catch us, to be predictable in what it's doing. They've managed to make it do that even better. So it's a great kite. It's a 3-strut design. So it's got those wings, those struts on the side to hold that tension in the wingtips. But if we take a look at it, it's a relatively arced hybrid sea kite design. That's going to give it a lot of stability in that performance maneuvering. It's a relatively thin leading edge for a 12 meter here with a fairly shallow profile, which means it drives forwards, suits itself really well for that performance riding. But they've kept a fair bit of camber and profile in the wingtip to hold that shape there. Along with a really wide wingtip design, what that lends itself to is lots of power in the tip, which translates down to lots of feedback. Initially, you can feel where that kite is in the sky. You get instant performance. As we steer that by, it instantly turns. It's straight away there. And as it turns, and you have all this leverage pushing in, sending the other wingtip carving round, it really drives through its turns. It creates a lot of power on the turn, which means that you get a lot of performance. As you input, it inputs straight back. It gives us that drive, working really well for kite loops, especially in its smaller size. It drives through and it catches really, really well. For performance riding, and we're redirecting, whereas on other kites, it might get stuck behind you if you oversend it, if you go too far. You always know that this thing's going to catch the wind and it's going to come back in front of you. So it's a very, very confidence-inspiring kite that lends itself really well to different riding styles. Part of that performance comes from the technologies which Ozone are using. So they're using their curved canopy technology. So rather than a segmented leading edge, like a lot of other kites out there, they're cutting their panels in a curved shape so that it follows a flow around the leading edge. At the same time with the panels, it follows that trace round. So this translates into more aerodynamic efficiency. It translates into a tighter canopy when you're in the air, which translates through into better performance and more stability. And you can feel that straight away. The first thing you notice when you get on the Enduro V4 is how tight it is in the sky. It's really taut. And as you turn, and you turn really hard, where other kites might flutter into the turn or through the turn, or other kites might come out of the turn and then flutter as it resets, this thing just holds tight and it just keeps pulling. It's got like a sea kite feel, but with a really comfortable, confidence-inspiring D-power in it. So it lends itself really well to that free riding because it turns quickly, because it's comfortable, because it's easy. It sends better than previous models, and then it catches and goes forwards again. It redirects and it loops better. But when you load it up and you go to pop, it pops amazing, and it slackens much better than the previous models. It drifts through the air really balanced, and then it catches without a sudden yank, but it catches really predictably and comfortably. So what they've done is they've nailed a really good all-round kite, a desert island kite, something you can take anywhere, something for someone that wants a kite to do everything. Probably most suited for freestyle riding in the UK. It's got a massive wind range, which works in gusty winds, light and strong winds. It's very stable. It's a great freestyle kite. It's always also a great free ride kite. It works really well for wave riding. If we tweak our bridle, didn't talk about it, but they've got their second feature, which is a bridle system here, so we can tweak it. To talk about it, by moving our bridle further to the end, we're able to change our toe point more towards the wingtip, which makes the kite sit deeper. It makes the kite pivot around its wingtip, which lends itself better for powered riding. It drives harder through the turn, it pulls harder. Going through the center setting up to the tightest setting, that's going to turn our toe point more central, which is going to tell the kite to sit closer to the edge of the window, making it depower better, making it spin around the center. So more suited to foil riding, free riding, wave riding. And this feature, even though it's a couple of inches of difference, makes a huge amount of performance difference or feeling difference in how it works. So by tweaking that, you've got this go everywhere, do everything kite, which is going to work for everybody. Even down to if you've got some wind experience and some previous skills, you could consider it your first kite, but it's something you'll never grow out of ahead of you and beyond. And that's the Ozone Enduro V4.